Hello everybody, welcome back. My name is Edwin. In this video series, we've been going over GitLab and its features. We've been building out a pipeline in a practical way, sort of a workflow for small to medium-sized organizations. If you like this sort of content, please subscribe to the channel so that our videos show up in your notification feed. Give the video a like, it really helps us out with the algorithm. And if you could, or if you guys want, you could leave a comment down below and I'll try to get back to as many as I can. Alright, so in the last video we set up some type checking, and we also set up some linting to make sure that our code is correct. In this video we're gonna build some documentation using the Pdoc program module in Python, and then we're going to try to create a place to house our Pdoc and coverage reports on a GitLab page, and we're also going to make an HTML page for all of that. A lot to go through this video, so let's try and get into it, and hopefully we can get through all of it in one video. One thing that I did want to do, let's waste a little bit of time here. I wanted to go over and recheck out our epics so that we can kind of see all the stuff that we've done already and kind of how an epic looks and how a milestone looks after doing a bit of effort. So you can see our roadmap just kind of shows some completed issues. We've done all of these issues with the blue, and the green ones still need to be done. I feel like that's kind of a weird color choice from GitLab, but you know, it is what it is. And we can also go over to our milestone, and you can see that we've completed 62% of our milestone, and our burn down and burn up chart looks sort of like this. And we can sort by weight, but all of them have the same weight, so it's not really going to do anything. Alright. Go into our DevOps and our math demo, and we can go to the issues board. All of these, I was supposed to do these yesterday, so this is what an issue will look like when it's past due. We're late on these issues, so we gotta kick it into high gear. Alright, so let's start with creating an index.html page. This one will probably be the easiest, and will set us up to start working with pages. So I'm going to create a merge request, and I'm going to open it up in the web ID. Okay, so let's get started. So I'm going to create a new stage called publish. I don't want these jobs to run with all of these other jobs that I've created so far. I want them to run separately. I'm going to create a job called pages. This part is really important. It needs to be called pages so that it knows to create a GitLab page. I want to run this in our stage called publish. Our script is only going to do one thing right now, and it's just echo this out. We're going to set it up to do some more stuff later. And I'm going to have an artifact called public, right? We're going to take a public directory and we're going to make an artifact out of it, sort of like how we did with our coverage. Alright, one last thing that we're going to want to do is we're going to want to create that public directory. And inside of it, I want to make an index.html. Now I'm going to grab some boilerplate code that I've created already. Alright, so going over this at a very high level, this is just an HTML page. It's basically a website. I do a couple of things. I grab some fonts from the internet. I define a style sheet, and then I have my content body for the website, which is just a couple of divs with a couple of boxes that link to other pages. Right now these links aren't going to link to anything, but you can see here eventually it's going to link to a coverage report and our documentation. Right now these links actually don't link anywhere. And let's commit our change. And commit. We can go over to our pipeline, and you can see here we have 3 jobs running in the test, and the publish is not doing anything yet. After these 3 jobs pass or pass with warnings, if we allow it, then the publish job or stage will be able to start. Not until all these are done will the publish stage begin. So we just kind of have to wait here. Alright, all of our jobs passed. We still have the linting issues in our test, so we need to go back and fix those from our last video. But our pages job is running now, and it finished. And you can see here it did echo out that we're gonna publish to GitLab. And we can go back to our pipelines. And you're going to see this extra deploy step, and that means that our page was deployed. So let's go take a look at it. You can go to your settings and pages area to get to the pages, and you're going to see a link here, and that's going to be your link to your GitLab page for this project. I open it up and I get my website. I get a link to the API documentation and a link to the coverage report. But right now there is no information there. These links don't actually lead anywhere. So let's fix that. One thing we can do is, we're mostly done with this one. So what I am going to do is mark this as ready. Put myself as a reviewer. Give it a thumbs up. Squash the commits and then merge. Pipeline is going to run one more time, but I can go to my issues and see that they're done. Alright, so let's do the Pdoc. Let's create a merge request and open in the web IDE. Alright, you can see that we have our new files already here. So for Pdoc, one thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to add a doc string to this. Okay, I've added a doc string. The doc strings in Python are just these triple quotation marks, and what Pdoc is going to do is it's going to read through all of our doc strings and build documentation out of it. So let's go back to our GitLab, and we're going to make one more job inside of our test stage. Okay, I'm going to make a job called document. It's going to be in the test stage. We're going to use Python 3.9. We'll install Pdoc3, and we're going to run Pdoc. Pdoc, the output location is going to be a directory called docs. The kind of report that we want is an HTML report. We want to run this on our source directory, and force just means that if there are files already in that location, we want to remove them. And like we did with our coverage report, we want to create an artifact for this one. And we are going to commit. And our pipeline is going to run. And we have our new document pipe, our job. Okay, it looks like our documentation has completed. We can actually take a look at this and see if it worked properly. We can browse, and we're going to see we have a directory called doc. We have a place called source, And we have an index.html in here. And then we can look at our source.main and see that, hey, this is the class that does nothing, has args, none, and it returns none. I could expand my source code and see the entire source code for my main.py file, and then I could look at just that main function. So this looks good. Okay, add a job to make a Pdoc website. Let's put that into our in review, and let's merge this. Delete the source branch, and everything looks good. We'll fix the warnings on the next commit. I promise, guys. It's bugging me too, don't worry. It's not just you. Alright, let's do our last one. It's already in progress. Let's open it up, create a merge request. Now in this last one, we're going to tie everything together. We're going to get those artifacts, and then we're going to add them to our into our GitLab pages. So let's get started on that. Open it up in the web IDE. And the way we're going to do that is actually quite simple. The first two things that we want to do is we want to make directories for our coverage and our docs. And then we're going to move everything in coverage star, so everything inside of coverage is going to be moved into public coverage. And we're going to do the same for our docs here. So docs, you might have noticed that in the other artifact, it was nested in there. So there was docs, source, and then inside of source there was the actual file. So we're going a little bit deeper in the nest there. Now there's one other thing that I want to do here. Okay, so that one thing that I want to do is first I'm going to go into my index.html. Now you notice that these are coming from a place called sandbox.mathdemo. We don't want that in there, so I'm going to erase this, and I'm going to replace it with just some random strings, right? I have 2 delimiters in here, exclamation points, GitLab pages, and then 2 more delimiters. And the idea is that we're going to replace this with the actual link to these to this GitLab page. And to do that, inside of our publish job here, we're going to do a sed command which will replace the GitLab pages variable with the actual GitLab page. And I don't remember it off the top of my head, but I can explain it. Sed I, this will replace it inside of the file. It'll move our contents to a temporary file and then edit the actual file. And then S means that we want to do it on all the files. This is just a delimiter saying that this is the target string, and then what we want to replace it with, and we want to replace it with this variable CI pages URL. GitLab has quite a few different variables that you could target inside of your jobs. So CI pages URL is a variable that comes with every single job that you run. You could do like CI commit hash or anything like that, so you can get the hash of the commit, you can get the project name, things like that, all inside of a variable that GitLab provides for you. And then finally, we just say that we want to edit the public.index.html. Alright, so we're going to commit this. Oh, actually, no, we're not going to commit this. We're going to go and fix those linting issues. So one thing that I could do is go back to my CI/CD pipeline, go here, and let's look at our lint test, and let's go fix these. So we have trailing white space on source.main. Oh, here it is. Found it. Okay, that's going to be the hardest one. And expected to blink lines after a class or function definition. So in PEP8, you want to have 2 spaces right there. And then the rest of the stuff is in our tests. So it expects 2 blink lines there. 2 blink lines, 1 found, and no new line at the end of the file. That one's kind of strange because there is a new line at the end of the file. So let's see if that fixes it. Let's commit that. And commit. Our pipeline will run, and hopefully everything is fine. Oh, perfect, our lint test passed, so we fixed all the linting issues. And all of our other tests passed. Now we could take a look at our pages job, and it looks like everything finished. One thing that you can notice here is I didn't define an image on this job, and it's using a default image of Ruby 2.5. So the default is going to be Ruby 2.5 unless you have your instance configured differently. And now we have a perfectly running pipeline. Everything finished, and I can actually go to my pages, and let's see if our pages are now working properly. Yep, this sends us to our API documentation. I can take a look at our API documentation, and everything's working fine. And let's see if our coverage report works. And yes, now I can go and view our coverage report, and it shows that everything is 100% covered. Alright, so we can close out this last merge request. Let's do this right. Go into our boards, throw this in here, go to our merge request, and mark it as ready, and let's merge it. Give ourselves a little thumbs up too. And that is all the issues completed. We can go back to our DevOps project and take a look at our epic. Check everything off. And everything is completed in our roadmap. All 8 issues are done. And we can go and look at our milestone. And I can now close these milestones. Issues, milestones. Yep. So let's look at that sprint 2 milestone a little bit more. We can look at our burn up chart. We finished on the 17th, and we can look at our burn down chart. Everything is in the closed state, and we are done. Alright, this video is a little bit longer than I expected it to be, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please leave a comment down below if you guys have any questions or comments, if I lost you in anything. Please remember to subscribe if you like this sort of content, so our videos show up in your subscription box. And if you really like the video, I'd appreciate it if you could hit the like button. It really does help us out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.